It starts with the prophecy that Moroni tells him on the night of September 21st, 1823, when Moroni visits him and tells him that his name shall be had for good and evil among all nations. And it also mentions that Joseph Smith is praying because he had felt a bit sinful. But note this phrase that it ties in, that though Joseph was not guilty of committing any great sins, he still felt a bit sinful. Note that very first intervention at the very start of this Q&A page is going to shape Joseph Smith did not commit any great sins because he could not commit great sins because he is called of God. That is a theological framing that is going to shape this entire discussion of how Joseph Smith's character was cultivated and how it relates to his prophetic legacy. Further, that framing that your name shall be had among good, among the believers, those who hearken to God's call, and evil among the wicked, is going to therefore structure how you view particular sources. Some that are trustworthy, those who call Joseph Smith good, and those who are not, those who call him evil. This is what scholars sometimes call a self-referential prophecy. That means it is telling people how to interpret things in the future in a way that reinforce that initial message. Now, it goes on, this introductory section, to provide categories for the type of mistakes one might find in Joseph Smith's life, because he is human after all. They could be slander based on false information. They could come from an incomplete grasp of historical sources or a misunderstanding of the culture, or they could be that Joseph Smith was just human. Now, you could take those categories and place the different accusations in them, but note the theological assumptions behind them. If they are serious, it's often slander based on false information. If they are a bit nuanced or complicated, it just means you don't understand the historical sources or misunderstanding the culture. And if they are real mistakes, they are just human mistakes. They just mean Joseph Smith are fallible. This is an interpretive schema that is provided for someone to be able to understand Joseph Smith's fallibility that does not question his prophethood. In other words, everything needs to fit within this context of a called, though still sometimes human, prophet. And mistakes are those of a striving nature, not an intent nature, and they are not meant to undercut Joseph Smith's other prophetic positions.